Don't kill me, man.
I'm not going to kill you. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to tell all your friends about me.
What are you?
I'm Batman.
What up, y'all? It's your boy, Mr. Mar Sharp, Short Man Filmworks in the building. And we got another episode of the Everyday Man's Film Reviews coming to y'all live today. So, y'all know this week is the week of March 4th. So, y'all know we got a new Batman movie coming out. So, what I'm going to do these next couple of videos is I'm going to go through all, I don't want to say I'm going to go through all the Batman films, but I'm going to go through all the Batman films that I love. That means I'm going through the 1989 Batman film. I'm going through Batman Returns. I don't think I'm going to do Batman Forever or Batman and Robin. Those are not two of my favorite movies. And then I'm going to do the Dark Knight trilogy, the Christopher Nolan movies that came out in the early came out in the late in the 2000s. So today we're gonna go through the 1989 classic, and what I feel like is a classic to me, the 1989 classic movie Batman, starring Jack Nicholson and Michael Keaton. I was first introduced to this movie based on a TV show. Going back from the TV show, the TV show used to come on TV back in the 60s, I believe. And then it made a re-emergence back in the 80s. Because I remember it coming on probably when I was about like 5 or 6 years old. It used to come on TV. Me and my brother used to watch it. I think it used to come on like after school or something like that. And then when the movie was about to come out, they started replaying it again like earlier that year. Because the movie came out in like 80. Matter of fact, no, I take it back. The movie came out in 89, and I believe they started playing the TV show after the movie came out. So they started playing it in the early 90s. They started playing it, and they started going through those episodes again. Kind of give you an idea of what the movie was like and then what the TV show was like. All right. So Batman was introduced to me as the TV show, from what I remember. I never read the comics, but I always was keen to the TV show. And when the movie came out, I remember this buzz being around this movie back in 89. I mean, everything involving Batman was going on at that time. You know, I remember going into the train stations, and you see the big logo on the wall. So, you know, in the train stations, you know, they got advertisers in there. They had advertisers for movies and all kinds of other things going on in the stations. And I remember seeing this big bat sign. And at first, I didn't know what the hell it was. I thought it was 4 teeth on the bottom and 2 teeth on the top, and didn't really see the bat silhouette in the middle. I just thought like, and I was like 8. I was like, what, 8 years old? 8, 9 years old when this movie came out. It came out in, damn, was it 89 or 88? I think it was 89, the summer of 89 it came out. I think it was summer 89 when it came out. And when it came out, I just remember seeing this logo. But I thought 2 teeth at the top. Well, it's on the shirt right here, but I got Batman in the middle of the shirt. But I remember it being like 2 teeth at the bottom and 4 teeth at the bottom, until I really looked at it and was like, oh, that's a bat sign. You know what I mean? So that summer, man, everybody had Batman t-shirts, Batman buttons, and I remember with the t-shirts, you know, you had a shirt with the bat sign, you had a shirt with the Batmobile, I think they had some Joker t-shirts as well. But I remember all the Batman t-shirts coming out that summer when that movie came out. But that movie was a big deal. In 1989, that movie was a big deal for this movie to come out, because this was, I don't want to say it was a new take, but I think from what everybody remember what the TV show was like. I know for me, I remember what the TV show was like, and, you know, remembering, you know, Batman being, you know, I remember Batman being like, you know, it was comic like TV, you know, where they would do the fight scenes, and you would see the bam and the pow on the screen, all that stuff coming up. And, you know, when you're 8, 9 years old, you think this is kind of going to be the take of what it's going to be like on the movie in the movie theater, just on a larger grand scale. But when the movie came out, man, this is one of my favorite Batman movies of all time, even over the Christopher Nolan movies. And I know everybody has their picks of what their favorite Batman movie is, or what particular films are their favorite Batman films, but this one right here is one of my all-time favorite Batman film. I got it on Blu-ray, and just like the Terminator, I will watch this movie 50,011,000 times, and I know that's a hell of a damn number, but I will watch that movie until I can't watch it no more. I was watching it a couple of days ago just for this video, and I still get a kick out of this movie. I still have the nostalgic feel of when I first saw that movie. I mean, I watched this movie like I was like I'm that same 9-year-old kid watching this movie in the movie theater. You know, of course now, watching it now and as I gotten older, I understand the movie more now. At 9 years old, you know, I didn't understand what was going on in the movie. I did, but didn't know. You know, but now I'm a little older and I got more background of the story of Batman. You know what I mean? So let's dive into the movie. You know, so let's stay saying movie came out in 1989, and you start off with pretty much, you know, it's Batman is a crime. It's a crime movie. It's a crime movie. You know, you got Batman still fighting the mob, fighting these mobsters. You know, you got Batman, which is Michael Keaton, and he's going up against Jack Napier, who's a part of this criminal underworld headed by Carl Grissom, played by Jack Palance, who we all know. I think he was at, I forgot what award show he was at, but he was doing the one-arm push-ups, and he's known for City Slickers. But it's headed by Jack Palance. He plays Carl Grissom, and pretty much Carl Grissom turns on Jack Napier because he's sleeping with his girl. You know what I'm saying? So Jack Napier, which is played by Jack Nicholson, Jack Napier has the police in his pocket. You know, well, I would say Jack Napier, but Carl Grissom has the police in his pocket, and they, you know, they're the criminal underworld. They're running the show pretty much. But Grissom sets up Napier, goes to Axis Chemicals. They try to clear it out because now they got Harvey Dent, who's pretty much trying to clean up the city. He's trying to clean up the city. He's trying to get rid of organized crime, and now they're sniffing around, which is one of their biggest operations, which is Axis Chemicals. So they try to go in, get the files so the police don't find out, or Harvey Dent won't find out what they got going on. And it just turns out that it was cleared out way before Jack showed up, and he sets him up with the police. Batman shows up to kind of intervene into what's going on, and he ends up dropping Jack into this whole vat of chemicals, which basically turns him into the Joker. So now he gets turned into the Joker, and now he's coming up with these schemes to pretty much wipe out everybody in Gotham City by poisoning all the chemicals that's coming on. Poisoning all the chemicals through all the cosmetics and things that people are using. And he's pretty much killing people that way. You know, so once Batman finds that out, and then, you know, once he finds that out, he goes on a mission to stop him from doing that. You know what I mean? But all in the meantime of what's going on, you still have these underlying stories that's going on inside of the movie. You know what I mean? You have the love relationship between him and Vicky Vale, and with that relationship between him and Vicky Vale, and I get what they was trying to do with that. They was giving Batman this dynamic of being this. I don't want to say he was being a playboy, but he was being this ladies' man. He's being this ladies' man because you notice in every movie he has a love interest. And in every movie, he has to choose between his life as Batman and his life as Bruce Wayne being with a lady. You know what I mean? Pretty much. So, but I like the way they came off in this movie because at first, Bruce Wayne never comes off as this. He never comes off as this. Well, I'm gonna get to that later. Let me keep on going with the story. But you have the love interest between him and Vicky Vale, and then you have the character of Alexander Knox, played by Robin Wall. And this was my first take on Robin Wall in seeing this movie. But I think he also has something. I think he has like a little love interest for Vicky Vale as well. But you have that story going on, and then you have the story of pretty much with the Joker, with Jack Nicholson, who wants to take over. He doesn't. At first, he wants to take over for Grissom, but Grissom is also the higher power. But then when he finds out he gets set up, he's like, all right, look, I'm gonna snuff this guy out real quick, and then I'm just gonna go over and take over what it is I'm going to do. You know what I mean? So he goes on and he becomes pretty much the head because he's Grissom's #1 guy. And pretty much whatever happens to Grissom, it's gonna trickle down to it's gonna trickle down to Jack. So pretty much once Jack kills Grissom, he gets the top slot of being the head of the of the criminal underworld. You know what I mean? So him and Batman have their little battle, and Joker's trying to do what he's trying to do, and then also Batman is trying to stop him. You know, so that's pretty much the clash of what's going on in this movie. You know, so in the grand scheme of it, you know, in the grand scheme of it, you know, you got hero versus villain, and to me it turned out to be a great story. I love this movie. I love this movie because, once again, like I said, this was my first take. This was my first take of Batman being in the theaters, and matter of fact, actually, it was the first take of everybody's taste of Batman being in the theaters. And like I said, with the hype surrounding it, and with all the hype surrounding it, and everybody saying that, you know, with Tim Burton directed the movie, and I think Tim Burton did an awesome job directing this movie. Because at first you don't even know that this is a Tim Burton movie when you first see this movie. I know for me, as I watch it now, I look at it now and I'm like, yo, you don't even know that this is a Tim Burton movie. Because everybody knows Tim Burton got a certain style. Tim Burton has a certain style, and he has a certain look about his movies that when the shit come on, you know, oh, this is a Tim Burton movie all day. But when you see this movie, you don't know, you really don't know that this is a Tim Burton movie, because you look at it like, before this, I think Beetlejuice was before this, and I can't remember what else was before this. But I want to say Edward Scissorhands was before this, but no, Edward Scissorhands came after this movie. But if you look at these two, if you look at Beetlejuice, look at Batman, and then look at Edward Scissorhands, you can tell that Beetlejuice and Edward Scissorhands was done by the same person. You throw Tim Burton right there in the middle of that, you throw that Tim Burton film, you throw Batman in the middle of that, you can't tell that Tim Burton did this movie. And I think probably because the studio was probably on his ass, they know what kind of style that Tim Burton had. And I think they was kind of like, nah, we're not going to have this, because you got a lot riding on this movie. You know, not only you got years and legacy of Batman going into this movie, don't fuck this up by putting your own stamp on this movie, because that's all I can say. Like, it's to me, it's not a Tim Burton movie. It's a Tim Burton movie, but it's not your traditional. Let me put it like that. It's not your traditional Tim Burton movie. You know. Now, does he have his little quirks inside that movie? Yes, he does. He has a lot of his quirks inside of that movie that if you look at it, you'll be like, oh, that's some Tim Burton shit like right there. Like when Joker pulls out the long gun, when he shoots down the Batwing, he pulls out this long gun, and you're like, okay, that's a Tim Burton quirk right there. When it's a lot of small things in there, but you can tell that's some Tim Burton shit right there. Where Joker shows up to Vicky Vale's house and he has the box, and she opens up the box and it's a hand of dead flower, like a prop of a hand of dead flowers that come out of the box. To me, that's a Tim Burton quirk. That's some shit that Tim Burton would put in his movies. You know what I mean? But the fact that he didn't make it like his movie, to me, I'm like, that's a testament. To me, I like Tim Burton movies, though. Because a lot of people shit on Tim Burton movies, but I like Tim Burton movies. But the fact that he didn't make it in his traditional style, to me, that says that he like I said, he probably had a lot of pressure on his ass to do this movie. But for him to do this movie in the direction that he took this movie in, I love the way that he took the direction of this movie. The acting, awesome style, man. I think a lot of people was giving Michael Keaton too. Michael Keaton was getting a lot of flack about playing Batman, because a lot of people couldn't see him playing Batman because of the roles he did previously. You know, he had Mr. Mom, he had Beetlejuice, you know what I mean? And I think people counted him out from really doing this type of film. It's kind of like with Bruce Willis. Bruce Willis did Moonlight, he was doing Moonlight, and he was known for comedies. And then when he did Die Hard, it was like, oh shit, this guy can really do these kind of films. He can be an action star. You know, he wasn't seen as an action star. So to me, I think Michael Keaton played his ass off out of Batman. And I think the reason why he played the reason why I think he did so good in being Batman is because he made it believable. He made Batman not realistic, but he brought a, I think he brought a humility to Batman, because when you think of Batman and you think of him being this millionaire, to me, Michael Keaton played a humble millionaire. You know, he had this big old house and he could do anything that he wanted to do. He had all the money in the world. He could do what he wanted to do. Probably got so many properties in Gotham City. But he had this human quality about him where you would look at this guy, you like, yo, he don't even have this persona of being this millionaire. And I think that's a testament to Michael Keaton as an actor, of him bringing that kind of vulnerability to him being Bruce, not just being Bruce Wayne, but also being Batman. Because to me, he was a cool Batman. He was real. He wasn't over the top. He wasn't over the top. He was subtle. He was real smooth with it. You know what I mean? So to me, and I think a lot of people say that too, because a lot of people say like, yo, Michael Keaton played the best Batman. And to me, Michael Keaton played the best Batman. You know, I know you got Christopher Nolan films and Christian Bale did his thing, but to me, Michael Keaton is always going to be that quintessential Batman to me. I don't care. I don't care what nobody say. You had so many people play Batman, but Michael Keaton is that Batman for me. For me, he's that Batman. Then you have, of course, you have Jack Nicholson playing the Joker. And, you know, you always get the debate, who's the best Joker? Is Jack Nicholson the best Joker or Heath Ledger the best Joker? To me, not to put them in a comparison, sort of, not to put them in competition with each other, Jack Nicholson was his own version of the Joker, as well as Heath Ledger being his own version of the Joker. Now, Jack Nicholson kind of was going in that direction of the TV character of, what's the actor? I want to say Cesar Romero. I believe that's his name, who played the Joker in the TV show. But still, at the same time, Jack Nicholson still brought his quality to the character of the Joker. You know what I mean? Because there's so many, and I say this to this day, and I still believe this. I think a lot of the stuff that Jack Nicholson did in that movie was not in the script. Between him and Michael Keaton, I think their chemistry on screen is awesome to me. Because I think there's a lot of things, and as I looked at it, I was looking at it a couple of days ago. There's a lot of things in this film that I'm looking at, and to me, it seemed like there are a lot of things that they were tag teaming each other. And I think there's a lot of things that Jack Nicholson did that wasn't in the script. You know what I mean? Which made it so much better. You know what I mean? When he's Jack Napier, he's this hard-nosed ass criminal. You know, not to be fucked with, not to be played with. Even when he was talking to Lieutenant Eckhart and he was bribing him with the money, you know, he told him, yo, man, you need to think about the future, because after Grissom, I'm going to be running this shit. So you might not want to listen to me now, but you're going to have to listen to me eventually. You know what I mean? But for him to be that character, Jack Napier, and for him to be so hard-nosed and be no nonsense, then he gets dropped in these chemicals, and he totally does a flip. It's almost like he becomes psychotic. I mean, shit, I think you become psychotic too if you got dropped in some chemicals and your whole shit get fucked up. You know? So to see that change and see that shift and see that switch, he becomes the Joker. It's almost like, to me, and maybe I'm just digging too far into it, but it seems like to me when he got dropped in that toxic chemicals and he's seen that smile after he came out when he's in the surgical process, that just made him be like, yo, I'm going to take on this whole persona of being this Joker. You know what I mean? So, you know, he's with the jokes. He's got that laugh, you know, he's got that iconic laugh, you know, he's got that iconic laugh. Jack Nicholson has an iconic Joker laugh that nobody else can duplicate. You know what I mean? And like I said, I just feel like it's so many different things that he did in that film and just improvised a whole lot of stuff. I think he improvised a whole lot of lines too. You know, one line I always think he improvised was when they go out the museum and Batman saves Vicky Vale and he has the little gadgets and everything, and he's like, he get those wonderful toys. To me, I just feel like that was a line that was improvised, but it fit right on in there. You know what I mean? And him and Michael Keaton, and I think too, you got kind of tell they did a couple of things that wasn't in the script. You know, like when they in Vicky apartment, and Michael Keaton has the fire picker. And he swings and he breaks a vase. You can see Jack Nicholson jump back like, oh shit, I ain't expect that. You know, so to me, little things like that, that's what make it great. When they in the bell tower. They in the bell tower, and I crack up every time when I see this shit, and I just keep rewinding it because it's so funny to me. And Vicky Vale's kind of giving it to him, but she's playing him, and he's got this face like, oh my god, she's really she's really getting into me. And then you get Michael Keaton come out, he just says, excuse me, and Jack Nicholson looks over with just his eyes, and then Michael Keaton says the line, have you ever seen the devil? Have you ever danced with the devil in the pale moonlight? I think that was improvised. I think it was in the script, but the way they pulled it off, like, yo, the way they pulled that off is so amazing to me. And then he spits out the teeth and the shits are chattering. That shit is funny to me. That shit is hilarious to me, man. But to me, I feel like those are a lot of things that were improvised. But then at the same time, it's a Tim Burton movie. So that might have been one of them little Tim Burton quirks. He gets punched in the mouth and he spits out his teeth and there's a bunch of chattering teeth that's moving. Maybe that wasn't improvised. Maybe that was a Tim Burton quirk. You know what I mean? Now that I think about it, because I always thought that was an improvised moment where he just kind of just told, hey, he probably told Tim Burton, hey, look, man, I'm gonna spit these teeth out, and I think that'd be a wonderful effect. You know what I mean? So regardless if it was improvised or regardless if it was something Tim Burton thought about doing inside of the movie, I think it was awesome, man. The music is awesome. Danny Elfman made one of the most iconic themes in movie history. You know, to me, compared to Hans Zimmer doing the Dark Knight score, that's kind of hard, man, because I like the score that Hans Zimmer did. But for me, I guess nostalgic value, because I grew up with this movie, I'm gonna go with Danny Elfman. I love Danny Elfman movies. I love Danny Elfman's music in a lot of his movies because he has that iconic sound. Kind of like same thing, kind of like with James Horner. When you hear James Horner music, you know, oh man, James Horner probably did that. When you hear Danny Elfman, when you hear music in a movie and you didn't see the credits, and you hear that music, you like, yeah, I think Danny Elfman did that. And Danny Elfman did that score. You know what I mean? So it's an iconic score. I mean, it goes with the movie. It brings such a mystique out of that movie. It brings so much more out of the film with, you know, just the little inflections and the little notes and the orchestration that he has with the film. Danny Elfman did his damn thing with this movie. You know what I mean? And I believe, you know, just the sets and the cinematography of this Batman being a dark movie. You know, it's a dark movie, but it's not over. It's more realistic. It's not the TV shit. It ain't the TV version of this movie. It's more of a, I guess, you know, going back to the comic element of it being this dark element and this dark feeling of this movie where it's not something to be taken lighthearted. You know, because the TV show, you took the TV show lighthearted. You know what I mean? The TV show was quirky. You know, they had on leotards and they had the loud ass colors and the characters was off the chain. They were off the charts. This one, yeah, you got, you know, beyond the Joker being like kind of like that over the top character. To me, Jack Nicholson didn't play the Joker as an over the top character. He did, but he didn't go overboard. You know, he did. Don't get me wrong. He did some quirky shit. But it wasn't to the point where you like, you ain't gonna take it like a joke. You took it seriously, at least for me. I took it seriously. At 9 years old, I took it seriously, and even to this day, I still take it seriously. You know what I mean? And I think that's what make these movies like this, like these comic book movies. You take it seriously, even though a lot of the ideas can be absurd. Like, really, for me, a man dressed up as a bat being a vigilante. Do you really want to take that shit seriously? Probably not. It's a comic book element all day, but when you get people that's really invested in these characters, you can't help but to take it seriously. And your audience gets engaged in it. I know I'm still engaged in it to this day. You know what I mean? So between the acting, I ain't talking much about Vicky Vale neither. I think Vicky Vale was a good character. I think she brought that humanity. Now, I don't want to say she brought the humanity out of him, but I think she brought a reason out of Bruce Wayne to kind of be like, do I still kind of want to do this thing as Batman? You know what I mean? Because looking at it now, you know, there is that love story element in it. And she's trying to figure out why is this guy ghosting me? You know, we was together, you know, we had a good night, you know, we was together, you know, she said to herself, you know, she's like, hey, look, I let you in, I talked to me, you know, they banged, and then now all of a sudden you trying to get gone, you know what I mean? But I think in the element of it all, he wants to get gone because he's like, yo, eventually I'm gonna have to tell her that I'm Batman, which he tried to do in the movie, but she ended up finding out anyway, you know what I mean? And even when she found out, he's like, look, man, it's not a normal world. This is just something I got to do. You know, he has to do it. But he also has his motivations because his parents was killed. Which I left that out. Which we find out that that the Joker is the actual guy who killed his parents from back in the day. Now I don't know if that's in the comic or not, but I know for the movie it worked well. You know, it gave him motivation to be like, all right, now I really got to take this guy out. You know, it becomes almost like a revenge thing toward the end of the movie. He's like, all right, well, look, you know, I finally found the man who killed my parents after probably, 20-something, 30-something odd years of him being in the dark. And he's like, okay, now I found this man. Now I probably can get closure on what's going on, what happened with my parents. You know what I'm saying? So Batman is a broken individual, you know, just like all of us. We all human beings. We all got things in our lives that that mold us and make us. And Bruce Wayne isn't no different from any of us. You know, he had his moments of things shaping him and molding him to become Batman, to become the vigilante that he is. You know what I'm saying? So in a nutshell, man, that to me, that's Batman, you know. So my scale, y'all know when I'm gonna get this movie. Y'all know when I'm gonna get this movie, and I always feel like this video is running longer than any of my other videos. But y'all know when I'm gonna give this movie. I'm giving this movie 4 thumbs up for nostalgic feel, for direction, for acting, for cinematography. And I said nostalgic feel. I think I said nostalgic feel, and just the overall good feeling movie. You know, once again, it's a good feeling movie. To me, it's great storytelling of just being a simple story. You know, nothing complex, nothing hardcore. You can get in there, watch the movie, get the gist of what everybody's trying to do, get their motivations, and then you see the movie, go through the acts, go through 1, 2, 3 acts, get the resolve, and then you walk out the movie theater with a smile on your face. You know what I'm saying? So that's my take on 1989's Batman, directed by Tim Burton. All right, so. If you like this video, like, comment, subscribe, show your boy some love. We're going to come back. I'm about to go watch Batman Returns, and I haven't seen this movie in a minute, but as I said, from back in the day, I remember this movie being one of my favorite Batman movies, and I can say I have not seen this movie. I haven't seen Batman Returns in a long time. So I'm going off memory. And from when I remember, this is still one of my favorite Batman movies. So I'm gonna go back, I'm gonna watch this movie, and then I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna give y'all my assessment on Batman Returns. But that's my review for Batman 1989. And once again, show your boy some love. This is the Everyday Man. This is Short Man Filmworks, and this is the Everyday Man Film Reviews. I forgot my shit again. This is the Everyday Man Film Reviews. Y'all take care, signing off, and I'll see y'all in the next one.